Listen. It's another Gauntlet Friday. It's your boy Denzel Snipes, and you are live on the Gauntlet, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit of a rainy day outside, or rainy evening, should I say? But I'm here in Houston, and all I care about is that the fact that I saw rain for the first time in like 6 weeks. But anyway, listen, we got a loaded show for you guys and everything. Just as a reminder, before we get started, to make sure you check us out on Instagram and Twitter, Sideline Sport One, YouTube and Facebook, Sideline Sports. If you are joining us for the first time on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. We got plenty more material for you outside of the Gauntlet. There's putting us on the South Florida Tribune side, but check that out as well. Also, Top Rope Talk, myself and Jacob Christner, the Sideline Sports Show, Hog Talk, First and 56, you name it, we on it. But let's go ahead and get the fellas in here real quick. First of all, we got your boy hiding and chilling in the cut. And this is this JJ's campfire ghost stories, yo? Like, what's going on?
So let me tell you about this guy at night. He comes stalking people. His name is Slender Man. Oh my God. He likes to eat your brains, and he walks like he's like a gingerbread. I don't know what the heck.
Wait. Y'all, this is Dom. Obviously, he's in the cut.
You heard me? You heard me try? You heard me try that?
I was with you for a minute, and then it went way off the rails like immediately.
I was expecting like this because you know Joey watched more Discovery Channel animal fights than anybody. I thought he was gonna like hybrid together some like lion versus giraffe fight or something.
Do I not look scary?
Yes, it reminds me of Leprechaun.
I was thinking of the Jack in the Box, and I don't know if y'all Harry Potter fans, but in Harry Potter, the Jack in the Box kept going like this, and then it turned into a Dementor.
Oh man! Well, let's go ahead and get the program started here, and that is with
he walked like a gingerbread.
He walked like a gingerbread man, or like a gingerbread?
No, because they're really slow and long strides.
But see, in theory, isn't the gingerbread man supposed to be fast? Because what does the song say? Catch me if you can.
Run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
Gingerbread man, exactly. So,
well, that's where you just got all strapped to hell, JJ.
Well, I, honestly, because I remember the one. I remember because I was trying to go for a Slender Man story because that Slender Man kind of scared the crap out of me, and so I was trying to make it work.
Yo, you remember the film Hollow Man? That film was low key creepy as hell.
Yeah, that was just, I didn't realize it till like 15 years later. It's just a remake of The Invisible Man.
Pretty much,
But Kevin Bacon did a good job. He did a really good job.
Yeah, no, that was a good movie.
He did.
It really was.
Absolutely.
It scared me.
Elizabeth Shue aged like fine wine until right about then.
So
she was not looking that fresh in Cobra Kai.
We watched that movie along with The Secret Window back in the 1950s or 60s. That old first type, I think it's considered the first psychological thriller or a scary movie.
Oh, okay.
You know, where the guy's sitting at his window outside and just see all the crazy stuff going on, and then he happens to capture a murder or somebody doing some scary stuff, and then it's just whole. That was not that one. This was way. It was like way back in like the 70s and 60s.
Oh,
like it was black and white. It was black and white.
His film debut was in Nightmare on Elm Street. Not many people know that.
Mm.
He was on Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one.
Yeah.
Was he like a kid
you
or something?
Remember that? He was Nancy's boyfriend, Glenn. Come on, go watch Nightmare. That's your homework assignment. Go watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
First and foremost, Freddy Krueger scares the crap out of me, so I will not complete this homework assignment. Okay, I will not complete this because those back in the day were. I think it's the second one where he had the little kid, and the little kid he was under the little kid's bed, and then he snatched the kid down in the bed, and he came down to like his hair area in hell. That was like the second one
was very homoerotic. And the dude that the main character, not Freddy, was also gay, but different story for a different day.
Yeah, we do have to move on to our weekly.
We have sports.
What do you mean we got to talk about football? I was just talking about Slender Man.
This is where any one of us or whoever may come on the show out of any outlandish sports take or something you saw from a player I mean, this is the time to get it off your chest. But first and foremost,
I need to stop
never
wasting. I need to stop
fails,
wasting my lighter.
never gets old. But all right, go ahead with your sports moron of the week, JJ Jenkins, aka the Campfire Raven. We're gonna start calling him that.
Call me Pet. My name's not out there. My name is Petty Jetty right now. But sports moron of the week. Ooh, oh, I'm gonna take it to this NBA, and I think we all know where I'm going because I happen to think this was he's the dude that's probably made the dumbest decisions ever. Kevin Porter Jr., you are a freaking moron for all that you have done. Literally. I don't know the whole story, but if the facts that turned out to be true is that you attacked this woman in her sleep, you're a freaking moron. Like you don't have the couth in you to not sneak up on somebody and do some crazy stuff. First and foremost, something about you feels like you should hit a woman, and that's the problem, number one. Number two, you not only just hit the woman, like you probably were intent on killing her. Because if she never woke up, you might have killed her.
Yeah, true.
Like you're a freaking moron, bro. And now you're about to lose on a really great opportunity for you. And now you're gonna be mad at the world when you should be mad at yourself. Because that was a moronic thing to do.
Yeah, that right there, absolutely. And as much as we talk about on these programs, especially we've had more than a few here on the Gauntlet, is these athletes really got to watch themselves, and especially I mean for you to just kind of spaz out and just beat your girl like that, like come on, man. But you know what? It goes on more often than people think, especially in pro football. I think it was kicker Chris Brown who's openly admitted he beat his wife his entire career. Oh, Josh Brown, that's it. He openly
the NFL
beat
knew
his
about
wife
that
every.
too.
Yeah, and the NFL knew about it. But I want to swing it on to Don, and then get your sports moron.
I'm going with every single Chicago Bears wide receiver in NFL history. Justin Jefferson, at the ripe old age of 24, now has more receiving yards than every Bears receiver in history. All 100 years of it with 5,134. Like, is there any shameful record that the Bears don't own? They've never had a 4,000-yard passer. They've never had a 5,000-yard receiver career. Justin Jefferson is 24. The Bears are just a sad sack story. Their fans are even worse. They like to talk about their title from 38 years ago. And I got bad news for you, Bears fans. You're in for another long season.
Indeed. And with that being said, my sports moron of the week goes on to none other than number 19 of the Kansas City Chiefs, Kadarius Toney. No, not Toney, TOE-KNEE. Y'all know what he did, but to those who don't, so this man was responsible for not one, not two, not three, but 4 drops in his game versus the Lions. Or was it 3? It was 3 or 4 drops in the game against the Lions, which led to a loss. Oh, and not to mention, he was the direct cause of a pick 6 over on the Lions end of the ball. But in fact, that was that actually got the Lions. Not like they were out of the game, but it tied the game. So, with that being said, you are literally if not one of the main reasons your team lost the game. And then after your former team gets demolished by Dallas 40-0, you have the nerve to troll them. Like, I could see if you won your game, maybe even, made a saving touchdown grab or something. Even still, to troll your old team is like on another level. But for you having had done it after you yourself put up a poor performance, that makes you undoubtedly sports moron of the week.
Let's also not forget that he went on social media and was like, "Yeah, I didn't have my best day. Self-grade C-."
He wants to troll a team that got better
How are
when
you
he left.
70%? A C- is 70%. That was not 70%, sir. That was an E
Right.
for lack
But
of effort.
he's trolling a team that got better and made the playoffs after he left.
Facts. They even beat Minnesota.
Absolutely. Well, we're gonna go on to our first topic here.
Them Florida boys are different.
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
Mm.
Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers suffered season-ending
Oh, this
Achilles
is so
tear
sad.
Monday Night Football game versus the Bills. The Jets actually ended up winning the game 22-16 on a game-winning punt return. Touchdown in overtime. Zach Wilson came in relief, and well, let's just say he didn't lose the game. But this happened on the fourth or fifth snap after the Jets had gotten ball first. Fifth. Okay, it was fifth. And his ending stat line was he was 0 for 1 passing. He's out for the year. He's already put up posts on social media about how he's one of them said he was the Bucks before the dawn, and he's gonna make a comeback out of this and such. So I want to swing it over to JJ and. How motivated do you think this is? You think he's going to return to the Jets, but you think this right here is going to be double the motivation, especially since next year he'll be 40 years old?
Absolutely. I think there's two things I think that are going to happen. I think he's going to be more motivated than ever, and I think that they're going to put more emphasis on their offensive line because I think they realize how quickly Super Bowl aspirations could be just swept just like that. And if he's doing all he can to come back and be what he wants to be for this team because he really wants to be in New York, he loves it. They had such high aspirations, and then you can see why with the way they play on offense with Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and then their defense. But, I know that he wants to come back, and I think he's going to. And I think it's just it's so sad. And I think it would be cool to be 40 years old and be one of the only two guys to ever win a ring, try to win a ring, and do successful or maybe MVP. Who knows? But there's no doubt in my mind that he would have been. They would have been very successful with him, and I want to see that. I didn't want to see it against my team, but I want to see it.
Indeed. I think he does. He is going to have that chip on the shoulder type deal. And I think that he'll make a smooth, speedy recovery, and he'll be back with the Jets next season. I know they tried to hold. We'll swing it over to Dom. They tried the whole call Tom Brady trick. It didn't work. But your thoughts on this whole thing?
I'm no Aaron Rodgers fan, as everyone knows, but I didn't want to see him go out like that. Right. As far as whether or not they had Super Bowl aspirations, I'm not so sure. Well, obviously, we'll never know for this year. I will say I never heard Aaron Rodgers mention the phrase Super Bowl whatsoever since he's become a Jet. The only thing I heard him talking about is, I think I can win another MVP. Oh, is that your goal? Anyways, like I said, and I would say that the chances might be greater now. Until Aaron Rodgers isn't a Minnesota Viking next year, it's happening until it doesn't happen. He says he's coming back. He's also got, 16 more weeks and a whole offseason to, contemplate retirement. Because I could easily, how he likes to flip-flop and be like, this rehab's just been so hard. And, I don't know if I have it in me anymore. Plus, Minnesota's going to need a quarterback next year. I also think it's how they get Justin Jefferson to stay. I don't want to. Well, honestly, I don't care if he comes back to the division because we own him now. When he left, I was like, oh, whatever, you can leave. We're done with you. I would also like to make note, still, because of the early first quarter injury, Aaron Rodgers' last completed pass was to Kirby Joseph. Kirby Joseph is a Detroit Lion.
Yeah, indeed, he is. It really just threw everything. Looking at the AFC East as a whole this past weekend, with Miami being the lone winning team. How about that, JJ? And now, the way too soon predictions are saying, Miami's going to take the division. They're going to take the division. I mean, too much of overkill. No, don't get me wrong. The team that you saw against the Chargers, even though Dom would say Chargers going Charger, but the Miami won the game. And then considering what you've seen, not only just on paper from the Dolphins offense, but also on the field, is it a stretch to say they look like not only the best team in that division, but one of the best teams in the AFC?
After a week, let's not pretend like Tua is going to remain upright for a season. For 2, you beat the Chargers blew the lead 5 times. 5 times, 5 times, 5 times, 5 times. 5 times they had the lead, and they blew it. How do you blow the lead 5 times?
Are you saying they look like the best? Are you saying they look like the best team in the AFC?
Or one of?
So, Week 1 overreactions brought to you by Denzel Snipes.
Hey, that's why we're here. We know what John Shearer would say.
Oh, we should have had that as a topic. Week 1 overreactions. My bad.
I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think of, because it was what I call, it was a rusty weekend for all of them. It was a rusty weekend, except for San Francisco and Dallas. It was rusty for everybody. But one of the best teams, Miami. I don't know.
I mean, let's be honest. With the less preseason games now and more focuses on the inter-squad scrimmages, I mean, for a couple of years now, I've been saying the first weeks 1 through 4 of the regular season are basically the preseason. Like, you can't make any judgments about any team until like October, unless you start out 0-4.
I mean, it depends though, because I think with teams that have, I think you can look at San Francisco and say, all right, this isn't like a preseason for them. I think there are certain teams, Philadelphia starting to rev back up. I think they're starting to see it's just maybe kinks here and there.
The offenses for the most part are definitely rusty, but if you've got an elite defensive team, but yeah.
And I think for me, that's the reason why I might give me pause about Miami, is just because a defense like theirs should have done a little bit more than they gave. Miami's defense has always been bend, don't break. I just don't think you could bend. I don't think you could bend and not break in the AFC this year. I just don't think you can do that.
Yeah, you can't stop the Chargers from scoring points on you. Oh, and what did I say? And look who's hurt. Oh, it's Austin Eckler.
What was the official diagnosis?
I still haven't even looked, but one of my buddies messaged me and was like, do you have the script? And I'm like, no, dude, I just pay attention.
Damn.
Well, week 1 was hard to figure out.
Week 1 was like
honestly, it gets easier every year.
And Dobbins got hurt. Who else got hurt in week 1?
It's an ankle. He's doubtful for this week.
Doubtful? Okay. Crazy. I had my eyes on Eckler in fantasy football too. Some told me they go elsewhere else. I got Nick Chubb. But we're gonna move on to we're bringing the segment back because it is the 2023 NFL season, and that is our Gauntlet Grinders, the return of this segment. So I'll go ahead and I'll kick it off. And my AFC Gauntlet Grinder is, of course, Tyreek Hill. 11 receptions for 215, 2 touchdown passes. This man and Tua are forming what some people are already saying the best quarterback wide receiver connect in the game, if not one of the best. I say one of the best. I think they're top 3, and it's not just prisoner of the moment, but look at what we saw last year. Tua's on his way to elite status. He just has to stay healthy. He has to maintain healthy. But after him throwing for 466 and 215 of it going to Tyreek Hill, they were definitely instrumental in their win at the Chargers. So that's my AFC Gauntlet Grinder. My NFC Gauntlet Grinder is the entire Dallas Cowboys defense. A blocked field goal, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 7 sacks, 2 defensive touchdowns. It got me 35 points on fantasy. How about that? In 2 leagues, as a matter of fact. But awesome job to the Cowboys defense. Obviously, they left nothing to be desired. They were showing, they did throw 2 picks as well. They are showing why they very well may be the league's #1 defense by this season's end. And now I want to swing it over to JJ and get your Gauntlet Grinders.
So, I love this segment. For the NFC, because I actually like to go between both these guys were sensational. Christian McCaffrey. Dude just busted out, literally.
That was a hell of a run.
It was.
It was. And it was against a team that has holes, but a part of that team that was considered the greatest part was their front seven and their run defense and the ability to stop the run with Cam Hayward and TJ Watt. Cam got hurt, but Christian McCaffrey, ever since he's touchdown in San Francisco, has just taken it off. Like, he is literally like just averaging like almost like 100 yards a game. They beat our rival, beat them bad. So I'm always happy about that, you know. Very happy about Christian McCaffrey. And I think Christian McCaffrey is really, I loved his father growing up, and I'm starting to love him as a player too. For the AFC, he won me some money, but I think Quinnen Williams deserves a nod just for the simple fact of he is a dominant force. He is someone that had made life hard for Josh Allen and opened up a lot of things for other guys like Quincy Williams, like all the corners be able to play. He had 2 tackles for loss where he just blew everything up. And right now, the two players I look forward to seeing the most on defense is Quinnen Williams and Javon Hargrave. So like Quinnen Williams and his week, you know, winning me some money was a bonus, but you know, he had a great week and he disrupted that entire Bills offensive line.
Absolutely, just a bulldozer. These young guys already showing and proving their worth already. You love to see it. Dom, your Gauntlet Grinders for week 1.
NFC, I have the Atlanta backfield of Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson. Between the two of them, 25 carries, 131 yards, 2 TDs. Cordarrelle Patterson hasn't even stepped on the field yet. They actually outpaced their quarterback, if you want to call him that, Desmond Ridder, who had a whopping 114, 116 passing yards. They still lost, I believe, to the Aints. No, wait, did Atlanta win? I can't remember.
Atlanta won.
Oh, yeah, that's right, they did.
Yes, they won. Who was your AFC?
AFC Gauntlet Grinder, coming back from a, ACL and meniscus tear. On a pitch count, Breece Hall, 10 carries, 127 yards, and a catch for 20 yards.
Good call.
That man, I was afraid someone was going to steal him, and I was going to freak out and yell and scream. But, yeah, not too impressed with, on the other side of things, not too impressed with Dalvin Cook week 1. Because, I mean, it took until, probably middle of the first quarter for Hall to get a carry, and then he just busted out a long one. He did have a fumble, and he got caught from behind on a long run. Well, not caught from behind. Kind of got pushed out at like the 2. But, yeah, I love me some Breece Hall. And he wears number 20. And his dad's from Detroit.
Breece looks good, but there was a certain running back in Philly that came from Detroit that looked really good last
night. Oh, yeah, I remember him. It's one of those DeAndre Swift weeks.
Hang on a second.
Fans.
I know that's next week. I gotcha.
Hold on, y'all. We're jumping forward here because that literally is our next topic. Thursday night football. Eagles hold off Vikings 34-28. Jalen Hurts had a decent game. He had 3 total touchdowns. Cousins threw for 300 plus in a losing effort for the second straight week, throwing 4 TDs in the process. Now on to DeAndre Swift. 28 carries, $175 and a touchdown. Is he just what the Eagles needed? Dom, go ahead.
Well, here, let me give you 3 numbers. Those numbers are 114, 151, and 99. Do you know what those numbers are?
His last 3 rushing performances?
No, those are his total number of carries in his first 3 seasons. So those 27 that he had last night, congratulations, Philadelphia. You just use up about 20% of DeAndre Swift in one game. I don't even have to say oh, DeAndre Swift's the next one that's going to be hurt, because everyone already knows that. The sun is going to come up. DeAndre Swift's going to get hurt. They had the kid gloves on in week 1. I was like, where's DeAndre Swift? Everyone's like, oh, they're saving him for the playoffs. I'm like, if you think he's going to make it that far healthy, speaking of people that should be on a pitch count, I can't believe he survived this game. Hell of a one-game performance, but I've seen it many times in Detroit. Don't be fooled, Philly fans. This is not for real, not long-term.
And you know what?
Vikings have 7 turnovers now in 2 games.
Something like that, yeah.
Bravo, Minnesota. Way to follow up that division win last year. But you're not frauds, right? Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, I said they were going to fall off a cliff. Looks like they've already started. I'm swinging over to JJ and get your thoughts about the game last night, and also on DeAndre Swift and what his impact will be to the Philadelphia Eagles.
My thoughts on the game, I'll start with that, is Minnesota has the talent. They just need the continuity for things here and there. And I think things are going to get better for them because I believe in Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator. I think what happened with Philly is what's supposed to happen is that they got back to basics. They started running the football, getting that line, getting their hands on somebody, and things started being better for them because they really are a team. They built their team like my team was built. So I could show you in this chat that I'm in on like this little thread, and I literally was calling exactly what they needed to do to get back on track and win this game because I knew how Brian Flores was. But I think, the Vikings have so much talent. I think the problem is their corners, and they need to get a little bit bigger inside. But because if Flores' defense is going to work, you got to get to the quarterback. You got to stop the run. But, that was a different thing for them. Philly should have won that game. They let them hang around when they shouldn't have, honestly. I'm a little mad because I would have won $100 if they let A.J. Brown's touchdown stand without that freaking hold. But, it's okay. DeAndre Swift, I'm not so sure I agree with Dom on the sense that, he might be used up already by a certain point in time because that's how Detroit used him. And we know in Detroit has never really believed in a run game. They believe in having it so people know that they actually will pay attention to it. But they really want their quarterbacks to air it out the way and do what they do. In Philly, they believe in running the football. And one thing that happens for running backs, especially with the offensive line like theirs, they start to be able to take that wear and tear. And he may last more than 119 carries because over the course of the game, those holes just open the freak up. He was getting like 5 yards before he was even seeing a defender. And he was amped. He was very excited. I think, and I thought he was going to start and have some good carries in week 1, but they gave it a Gainwell performed. This one, Philly's got a good problem on their hands because they have 3 running backs in their system that have seemed to get some traction, and no shame, I'm used to it, seeing it myself. I think they had I think without DeAndre Swift, Philly would have lost. I think he is the reason they won that game because he is the reason when they went down 7-3. He's the reason. No, they were. I lost. I think 7-3. When they started running the football, they went up 27-7 out of that. It's just every time they needed to get back on track, they relied on DeAndre Swift, and he carried the way out for them.
Yep.
Well, my other hot take on Swift was somehow miraculously he plays a career-high number of games and has a career-high number of carries. # because Lions. But whatever, we got something for him in the trade, and I like our running backs.
Yeah, not bad at all, Yeah, definitely. Last night, DeAndre Swift was the guy out there. He significantly picked up after Jalen Hurts actually threw a pretty bad interception, but he still ended with 3 total touchdowns. He had a nice deep ball to Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith scored last night as well. So pretty much, and I don't know. You kind of see. Do you have the opinion that Philly's offense is off to a bit of a slow start right now, and that they'll pick it up in the coming games, or do you think they're right back on track? JJ.
I think they're just it's like Dom had said earlier. It's the preseason. They got a new offensive coordinator. They have new pieces on that running back crew, so they got to get used to how they run their balls. I think it's definitely rust for them because you saw what they could look like when they're in rhythm, and they looked pretty dang good. They were also missing key pieces on the defense, and so I think just they're going to be fine because they have an identity and they stick to their identity, and so I think that they're going to be okay.
Okay, that's fair enough. And what about you, Dom?
Same. I think they're right about where they need to be. And at this point, for however long Swift's healthy, it's kind of pick your poison. An idiot Vikings fan will be like, "Oh, we shut down AJ Brown." Yeah, and he got torched by Devontae Smith. Yeah, it's just that the Eagles can beat you in so many different ways, and they have an elite defense. They didn't just get to the Super Bowl by accident. They're that team in the NFC besides Frisco.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just want to give everybody a reminder that you can catch us on Instagram and Twitter, Sideline Sport One, YouTube and Facebook, Sideline Sports. Also, tune in to Philly Jim's channel
Audible.
on YouTube to catch all the latest episodes, as well as J&J Sports Picks. Myself and JJ Jenkins were on there 2 nights ago, so definitely go and check that out. Leave some comments about who you got for this weekend. And speaking of which, for these next two, it's a bit of a preview, primetime preview. So Sunday Night Football preview. Dolphins are 3-point favorites at New England. Can Belichick's defense stave off Tua and the Dolphins? Now I know you've had your takes on Bill Belichick, in past episodes, but JJ, your thoughts? You think Belichick's defense actually has a chance?
I think they do, but I think the more thing I'm looking at is how their offense is going to be. Because I think one thing you can kind of expect from Belichick is that his defense is going to come to play. They may bend a little bit, but they will tighten up and give their offense an opportunity to at least get themselves back in the game or keep up with the score to stay in the game. But I definitely, Bill Belichick, his number one goal is to take away the number one option. So the number one option, of course, is Tyreek Hill. You take him away, Jalen Waddle. Hashtag if you're looking for something on sports props, go Jalen Waddle's receiving yards. You're welcome. Anyway, but it's depending on how I forgot his name, the coach, Mike something, how he responds to the adjustments or how Bill Belichick is going to be playing his defense against them. That's how you beat New England. You know that you may have a better team than them, but are you always going to outcoach them or be better in the game against them? Because since Tom Brady's left, and even when Tom Brady was there the last couple of seasons, they win a lot of games because their coach makes the proper adjustments when they need to. Are you going to make the adjustments you need to counter them? And we're curious to see what's going to happen with them. Now, last year they won with Tua, lost without him. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. I think Belichick's defense does have a chance, but it starts with old McCorkle Jones, and we're just gonna see if he, because the Dolphins defense is nothing to be played with neither. Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, Bradley Chubb, like, come on now. You got hard hitters already on Miami's defense. But I want to swing it over to Dom and then get your take about this. You think the Patriots can actually pull this off?
I think that they can, but I don't know that they will. Here's my thought on it. The Patriots, when they were a much better team, historically would always struggle with the Dolphins. So now I'm wondering, now that Miami's the better team, I really don't know how it's going to go. Like JJ said, and like everyone knows, Belichick's main focus and talent is taking away what you do best. But I just think that Miami is a little bit too much for them. And the way that the Patriots started off the game last week, consecutive turnovers and consecutive snaps, they got it together a little bit before the end of the half. made it look a little closer than it was, but they got beaten by a much better team. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that New England is a fourth place team until proving otherwise. But I don't know. Should be an interesting game. I think Miami wins it, but I can't say for sure.
Yeah, you just never know. That's crazy because, back during Brady's reign of terror in New England, no matter how good or bad Miami was, they were always good for stealing when it was hard for the Patriots to sweep them like in a season. You know what I mean?
When you get a win off of a miracle, you just have a team's number.
Yeah. That is true. And Tyler actually pointing out that there are 4 offensive linemen out this week.
Hi, Tyler.
They let's see here, 4 offensive linemen out this week. Yeah, they have to definitely get on the ball on that one. But then let's go to our Monday Night Football preview, and that is the Steelers are 2.5-point dogs versus Browns. No pun intended. So, I mean, Steelers and Browns, no matter how good, one is, and we're considering Roethlisberger's retired, you can't count either team out. So even in Watson versus Pickett, like, who outduels who? I'm going to start off with JJ because I know this is a division in your game with 2 teams that you don't particularly care for, but I know you have great neutral takes. So go ahead and let us know your thoughts about this game.
So I'll start off by saying we talked about it on the pick show. I think Cleveland's going to have this game handily. And I think one thing that I found out kind of solidifies it for me is that Cam Hayward is gone. He's out. And if you know anything about the Pittsburgh Steelers in his time that he's been there, that defense and that front 7 stops the run better when he is playing. And you're going up against Nick Chubb in a team that, with a quarterback, albeit a great quarterback, Deshaun Watson, it's all about Nick Chubb first. It starts with him, it ends with him, everything else goes there. And I think on the other side, you have Myles Garrett, who, he has a great case for being the best player and the best defensive player on the game, the best defensive edge rusher, and he typically has very, very, very good games against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Right.
It's a team that he does very well with. And I think that Cleveland nowadays, they don't fear any team in this division.
Right.
They don't see a team in this division and think that, back when the early 2010s and stuff, our division teams knew that, okay, when Cleveland comes, cool, let's just work out our kinks or whatever. Let's just move what we got to do. But ever since Cleveland has started kind of winning these games, they hadn't beat Pittsburgh for a long time. And then now they're starting to beat Pittsburgh kind of left and right. And so it's I think that with them, this is going to be a very, very good game for them. Steelers have issues on offense. Their offensive line has been kind of bad for a long time. And then, Kenny Pickett he's got so much talent. He's going to be good. I think he will. But when that pressure gets to him, like most rookie quarterbacks, you see some interceptions that come that way or see some situations that they get into that are costly, much like Jalen Hurts last night with the interception from pressure. So I think the Steelers are going to I think it's going to be a decisive victory for the Cleveland Browns. And I think Deshaun Watson is going to have a very good game management type game. I say 17 for 25, 212 yards and a touchdown.
Already. I mean, I won't sit here and say that Deshaun Watson is exactly back to form, but he did look good against the Bengals, who's always a tough out in that division last week. So, don't want to pull the trigger just yet on him because we still have to see him start an entire year. But I want to swing it over to Dom and then get your thoughts. You think Kenny Pickett's going to pull off the upset, bro?
Absolutely not. Some goofball. I saw the post earlier. Somebody that was on the Pat McAfee show said this is Deshaun Watson's most important game of his career, playoff or otherwise. And I'm like, I'm not sure about all that. I would say it is important, but given the unknownness of his career going forward, I would say the most important game of his career, Yeah, it is this week, and then next week it's that game.
Right.
Like you said, he looked decent. He looked decent last week against. I'm trying to pull up the game log now because I want to see his numbers specifically. Here we go. He was 16 of 29, which is not great. 154 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick. But honestly, when you have Nick Chubb running the ball for 106 yards on 18 carries,
You'll take that.
Deshaun Watson looked like what he needs to be. He does not have to be. He does not have to be the Deshaun Watson of your Texans. He does not have to do it all. He doesn't have to run for his life. He doesn't need to lead the league in passing yards or throw 35 touchdowns. He just needs to not lose games as long as Nick Chubb's healthy and as long as that Browns defense is that Browns defense.
If they're pounding
the
ball,
like Joe said, I think Cleveland decisively, potentially like a 2-score game. I'm thinking like 28-13. That Cleveland pass rush is going to give Pickett fits. Also, like Joe said, Pittsburgh's O-line is not what it used to be. And with Cam Hayward being out, I think Nick Chubb runs wild. I'm thinking like $150 or more. So prop bettors, Nick Chubb. Fantasy owners, not that you wouldn't, but start Nick Chubb, expect big points.
Yeah, absolutely. With the Browns, I think they've gone all offseason, or rather for the better part of 2 seasons now, that, well, it's either Cincinnati or it's Baltimore in the division. And I think they're a tad tired of hearing it, and they're more on the side of, the entire division is tough. But, I mean, we got the talent to do so. We got a top 5 running back. We got, at one point in time, and let's face it, once he's on his bread and butter and his biscuits and gravy, Watson is a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And when you get and that type of defense as well, and it's almost like the AFC North is just kind of standing in their way, which would say that for every other team, But I'm gonna say because they always play them real tough at Heinz Field. I don't see the Steelers getting like dog walked at Heinz Field. Had it been in Cleveland, different story. But that crowd's gonna be. What's up?
Dog walk.
Oh, yeah. They. I've got the Browns, but in a closer one. I'm gonna say Browns. I think on the JJ pick show. I think I said 27-21. It might be. I think I'll go ahead and say the same thing. Browns 27-20. Got a little closer than y'all think.
I'm feeling good right now, so forgive me. Go ahead. I'll let you.
Oh no, you're good.
Just killed a spider that was like the size of a quarter. Thing was huge.
Oh my God.
Well, we'll use the last nearly 10 minutes or whatever for our
this is gonna be fun.
Final topic, non-sports topic. What
kind of question is this? Ew.
He said ew.
God. Ew.
What was the one game that made you want to cop a Sega Genesis? We'll start off with you know what? We'll start off with JJ, but if you're not a fan of Sega, at least name one game that made you say, I'm going to buy that system.
The Dolphin game. That was my favorite one.
Echo the Dolphin?
God, Echo the Dolphin. All the games you could pick, and you pick Echo the Dolphin.
I love that
Shame
game.
on you.
That was so fun. I remember playing that that's the only game I liked on Sega Genesis. I used to love that game. I played the other ones, of course, but Echo, I liked that game. That was so much fun.
So you were a Super NES guy?
Who?
JJ? You were a Super NES guy?
Nah.
Super NES, Super Nintendo, SNES, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, 4 buttons.
So like I remember, see, Sega was cool and Super Nintendo was cool. Yeah, I definitely had that, and PS1 for sure. Oh, this is so much taking back us to our childhoods. Oh my God.
That's kind of why I made the question, But so you got Echo the Dolphin, Dom. Who do you have? Do you have Echo the Dolphin?
Now I'm trying to sit here and think. I don't know if it works. I think I still have my Genesis somewhere. Now I'm struggling to remember what the first game that I bought was. I was thinking more like favorite games ever. For that, I mean, you could say the Madden, the NBA Lives. I was a big fan of Streets of Rage, but also NBA Jam, especially when I got the cheat code book and you could get all the mascots,
all the
Prince,
celebrities.
Jazzy
NBA
Jeff.
Jam was fun. NBA Jam was fun.
Tournament edition is still the best game that they ever made.
True. Okay, I give you that.
Actually, there's a bar in Chicago called the Beercade, and it's just a massive warehouse with old arcade games. And I'm mad that I didn't even find the place until like 2:30 in the morning. Because bars there stay open until like 3 or 4. But I hustled a good number of people out of $20 after letting them beat me for 10. And then I'm like, let's play again, double or nothing, and then beat them.
Oh, wow.
Then I just start to smile in the second half when I'm up 30 points.
Oh, you little scammer.
I think it's NBA Jam.
NBA Jam.
He's on
fire.
fire.
The game that made me want to cop a Sega Genesis actually was Altered Beast. Altered Beast it's still my favorite Genesis game. One. You know, the when you're fighting the mythical creatures and then you get 3 orbs and you morph into like the animal of that stage. And the music was awesome too. I'm always an Altered Beast fan. Of course, they made remakes throughout that. I'm surprised they never came out with a live action film. Like that would have been like a blockbuster.
That would have been dope.
I mean, think about it, an Altered Beast film.
I always worry because I mean, if you think about all the video games that they made into movies, how many have actually been good and how many have been just god awful? Looking at you, Super Mario Brothers.
So Resident Evil started out good, the first 2. It actually did.
The first 2 films, yes, I agree.
Yeah, I like the first 2.
It actually started out how even though Alice was a created character, it fit for what they were trying to do. After that, I still watch it because I love Resident Evil, but after that, it was just like, yeah, no. And MK1, the first Mortal Kombat was very good.
That was one of the best games on the Genesis.
Literally. And like it was also like, but that movie actually looked well.
The movie was also so bad that it was good.
I liked Mortal Kombat, the first one. I thought the characters
I did too. Saw in the theater.
Yeah, like and then the second one, I only loved it because I got to see the different characters like Ermac, Shiva, Sidel, Cyrax, Melina, all of them. Yeah. But that was it. But other than those 2, and maybe Silent Hill.
Silent Hill's a good pick.
That was good.
The first one was great. I like that one. The Executioner scared me. Or whatever you call it.
Okay, Dom, what about you? Same question for the original PS1.
Ooh.
You know what? Since you were a Maddeneer from back then, I really wouldn't be surprised if you said Madden 2001. Because that was the first game that got it to
whichever.
That was a glitch.
Basically,
yeah, whichever the first Madden or the first NBA Live that was on PS1 for sure.
That was a glitch. Like you could you could punt return. That was a glitch.
You said which Madden did you say, Dom?
Whichever the first one. I mean, I didn't have a PS1 right when I actually never owned a PS1, but all of my friends in college did, and then PS2 came out while I was in college. But yeah, we used to play them live. It would have been 2001. I think Live 2001 was still on PS1. Those games were just all so good, like from the Genesis all the way to PS2, and then they quit making it, and then they brought it back, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
Like even after they quit making it, they were you could download updated rosters, and then they just quit making the game. Then they brought it back, and it was bad.
Enter the Gecko. Damn, I forgot about that game.
You sucked at Live, huh?
And you know what?
We had this conversation because we were talking about it at work. Crazy.
Tyler Ingram said his underrated game is Enter the Gecko.
Ooh, I've never played that.
I forgot all about that game,
You know
actually.
what I was just thinking about from Genesis, though? Toe Jam and Earl.
Oh, boy. That actually was one of the best. You know what? Toe Jam and Earl, to a certain extent, it reminded me of Battletoads, just, I guess, the animation and such. But nah, Toe Jam, because Toe Jam and Earl had about, what, 3
Yep.
games? You had all of them.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It was the first
Well,
one, and then one of them was like Escape from Planet Funkatron.
I love that we're talking about these games because it just takes me back to those games like the Sega Genesis, the Atari, the computer games. I can't remember the name of this game, but there was a game on the computer where you had like some type of like, currency where you could buy missiles, bombs, or whatever, and you could like, you're like facing off against somebody, you get to shoot your missiles, and then like it blows up, and then you can survive. It was just a fun. I can't remember the name of the game, but it was on like a computer, and I used to play it all the time at the daycare center and the Boys and Girls Club. And it's
I
just
thought you were going to say Oregon Trail or something.
Oregon Trail all day. Loved Oregon Trail. Loved Oregon
on the
Trail.
Apple IIe. You have died of dysentery.
Yes.
Green screen.
My oxys would always die.
Apple IIe, baby.
You have died of dysentery.
Disease
Like,
isn't all that like crazy.
it always is a disease that be taking you out.
Hey, it was rough in Oregon back then.
It was.
And I will say an underrated game that I remember playing a lot was GoldenEye.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the best shooters ever.
It was amazing. Remember, you used to even control like the tank and the helicopter if you got to one, and like it was just, and there was like certain spots in the game where you could see everybody, but they can't see you, and you could just snipe people from everywhere. Oh my gosh, we used to fight for the sniper gun because the sniper way was a really way to win that game because if you could get where somebody nobody could see you, you just snipe everybody. Are you frozen?
The catnip bubble that has somehow made its way from my upstairs down the stairs and over to in front of my computer. Here's another one.
That's weird.
What in the world?
Catnip bubbles.
Ew.
They're like, I know, they're like sticky too. It's weird.
Might want to go wash your hands. You don't know where that's been.
Okay, thank you. Say it again. Say it for those in the back.
All right, we're gonna end the show.
But Dom, I have a question for you.
Oh, before we end the show, go ahead.
I know we got like 5 more minutes. Why not use the whole hour? I mean, come on.
That ended at 54 for commercials. Come on, act like you've been here before.
What was your question?
Were you on TV or what?
You know what? It's funny that we're having those TV because me being in the dark, like I feel like I'm turning this into like a Sia type situation where you don't see my face, and then one day you're just gonna like pop up and see my face.
You really trying to master the campfire thing? What you need to ask Dom?
Oh, good Lord.
I just forgot. Dang it! I've enjoyed. My 2 best friends, Amsterdam and Pineapple, came to see me right now, so I'm just talking right now.
Oh, no wonder.
Oh, now it all makes sense.
Yep. Right at the end of the show, it finally all comes out.
Literally.
I had a feeling earlier when he said he was feeling good. I'm like, oh, yeah. Yes, there it is. Are you afraid of the dark? Why could I not think of that till just now?
Who is Bray Wyatt?
He was one of the wrestlers that died a few weeks back.
I knew he wasn't going to know. He's also from a historic wrestling family, the Rotundas and the Wyndhams.
Yeah, I really don't know too much about wrestling.
I don't watch WWE either, but I knew who Bray Wyatt was.
Except for
sad.
Except for Rey Mysterio. Who did you say? So like Rey Mysterio,
Bray Wyatt,
Diamond Dallas Page. I remember those guys.
Just the 90s guys, really.
Yeah. Kane, Undertaker, China, the McMahons, Shannon, Vince,
Shannon.
Rock, Stone Cold. My brother used to get on my nerves because he used to call me jabroni, and I never knew what that freaking meant, and it pissed me off so much. And then I come to find out it don't even mean anything. He just made it up, and it just was so annoying. Yeah,
Wow.
I love Rey Mysterio.
Well, yeah.
I
and then
hate that
pretty
his son
much
stole his nickname from me.
Dirty
I've been
Dom.
Dirty Dom for like 10 years.
Man, want to call
That
him up and
mullet
get your
is
name back?
nasty.
Hey, but you still got Detroit, Dom.
Trademark it.
Facts.
Trademark it. You probably could still trademark the GOAT. Yep, probably could still trademark Dirty Dom if you act it now.
That would be fire. Sue him for royalties. Not even sue him. Be like, just let me get some royalties.
Yeah, that's it. There's a few. Not
It's
asking
like
for
Pat
much.
Riley with repeat.
Yeah. All right, we're heading into minute 57. All right, that is our show for the evening. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thanks to shout out to Bacon Grizzler and also Tyler Ingram in the comments. And be sure you catch us next week. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on Sideline Sports Network and also on Philly Jim's YouTube as well. We can use the followers. We can use the support. Thank you for tuning in. So for myself, Petty Jetty, and Detroit Dom, I am Denzel Snipes. Shout out to JJ out there in LA right now. Hope you're enjoying it. See y'all in 7 days. Later.
Peace out.